Good evening, everyone. I'm Kara Setzer.
I'm Brian Allen. For the past 4 months, the governor's office has met with leaders from key critical infrastructure partners to assess vulnerabilities here in the state.
Although the meetings were held privately, a task force came out with some recommendations for the state budget, including one that would provide the state flexibility in the case of power outages. Grant Green explains in tonight's top story. Hello, Grant.
Good evening, Brian and Kara. Governor Roden established the Task Force on Resilience and Infrastructure to assess vulnerabilities and risk in critical infrastructure in the state. Lieutenant Governor Tony Van Eisen says the meetings have progressed above expectations.
The recommendations come very timely.
Just last week there was a power outage in the Black Hills, and every time something like that happens, we try to learn what we can and find ways to improve.
The GRIT Task Force is recommending Governor Roden include one-time funding for a cloud-based backup to the state radio in his budget.
What we're asking for funding to do is to make that more resilient by basically adding a cloud-based backup for the back end of that system. So even if we have a failing in some piece of equipment or some data center, that system will continue to work for our first responders.
GRIT also endorsed a policy bill this upcoming legislative session, which would expand the use of Dakota State University's Secure SD, which helps local governments' cybersecurity by assessing threats and addressing them appropriately.
This will allow us to expand our services to those important utilities. After all, we all want clean drinking water when we turn on the tap. And so this helps our water districts as well as our cities and counties.
Water and wastewater districts are not as manually operated as you may think.
Operational technology is when you have industrial control systems that are coordinating the amount of chemical that's keeping our water safe and secure. So we have those types of sensors that if someone modifies, they could potentially compromise our water safety.
Other recommendations from GRIT include hardening systems at the Bureau of Information and Technology to guard against service outages, and also recommending a nuclear energy study. Funding would also come through one-time dollars.
It is not certain who will carry the legislation to support Secure SD's expanded services. However, the governor's office is in full support of that move. Brian?
Grant Green tonight. Grant, thank you.